Hey folks, another day, another unboxing, and this time it's the Huawei Mate 20X. Yes, this is the big 7.2 incher. I've got it here to unbox. Unfortunately, I cannot keep this one to review, so this is just going to be a quick unboxing and a quick look at this phone. Hopefully, I'll get my hands on another one at some point in the future. So same box as the Mate 20 Pro I unboxed earlier. And you can see it just says Mate 20X. And let's open it up. Boom! Look at that. It's massive. I mean, it's really quite insane. So let's get to the phone in a second. Before we do, though, I'd like to see what's in the box with you. So there's a divider right here. It's basically the same layout as what we saw on the Mate 20 Pro I unboxed recently. So here's SIM removal tool. You've got a case included, which is really nice. And there doesn't seem to be any documentation in this one, whereas there was some in the Mate 20 Pro. So just be aware of that. And then, of course, you've got the charger. Now, this is not the crazy 40-watt charger, I don't think. I could be wrong, but it feels lighter. So I think it's just the 25-watt, because I believe only the Pro has the super crazy ultra high-speed charging. Here's a USB type C, as you can see, to type A charging connector, and then we've got a pair of earbuds that are 3.5 millimeter, because yes, this does have a headphone jack. These do look like the Apple earpods. Anyway, that's all that's in the box. So let's have a quick look at the phone. First thing we want to do is take off these covers. Are you ready for that sound? Here we go. You can't hear anything. It's not making any sound. But there we have it. So let's do the back real quick. And here we are. So I'm going to remove this iMate sticker as well. So there we go. So this is a kind of a bluish color, as you can see. Here's the camera pod. It's the same pretty much layout as the Mate 20 Pro, which is really interesting because when you consider this, it's kind of like a Mate 20 stretched in size, but yet it has a Pro camera instead of the regular Mate 20 camera. So it has the 40 megapixel primary camera, the 20 megapixel wide angle, and the 8 megapixel telephoto instead of the kind of slightly downgraded 12 and 16 megapixels for those. And of course, fingerprint reader is in the back. It's not in display. And when I turn it on, you'll see there is that teardrop notch that is very similar to the regular Mate 20. Yet the regular Mate 20 has an IPS panel with the teardrop notch, and this is an OLED panel with a teardrop notch. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds in some ways, and it's massive, 7.2 inches. To give you a feel how big it is, I'm going to pull out my Mate 20 Pro, and you can see side by side how big they are. This is my Mate 20 Pro, and you can see like 6.4 inches versus 7.2 inches, right? This is an insane size difference. It's massive. Doesn't look like this in my hands, but as you can see, putting them side by side like that. This is the green one, by the way, and the blue one. So that gives you a feel for the size difference. And as I said, it takes a little while to boot the first time. So let's walk around the edges really quickly. What you got here is a SIM tray, dual SIM, that supports that new nano memory. At the bottom you have USB type C, speaker, microphone ports. And on the right hand side, of course, you get the power button and the volume rocker. What's cool here is that instead of being red, that power button is ridged. And you got volume rocker. And then of course you have a headphone jack on top. And I believe this is the infrared transmitter. And then you've got the secondary speaker up there, which is interesting. So this has stereo speakers, which you think makes sense because it's a really large phone. And look at that display. Boom! 7.2 inches, 1080p OLED. This is kind of insane if you ask me. But insane in this kind of like, you know, let's make the phablet come back kind of way. So I'm pretty stoked about this phone. I hope to get my hands on one to actually review. That's a lot of screen real estate and a lot of ohms. Remember, it is Kirin 980, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, and so it's got a lot of trimmings. Headphone jack, which is nice. The better camera system from the Mate 20 Pro, and a fingerprint reader that's not in display. The teardrop notch, so it doesn't have that Face ID authentication system. So it's in some ways Redux, but in some ways maximized. So there you go. The Mate 20X here in London at the great Mate 20 launch event. Glad I got the opportunity to unbox this for you. Stay tuned for more videos. Please subscribe, like the channel, tell your friends, and remember, these videos are a supplement to the podcast. mobiletechpodcast.com is where you'll find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Slacker, TuneIn Radio. We're on Overcast, Pocket Cast, everywhere. So just look for me, mobiletechpodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast, tell your friends, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Cheers.